Hey guys, we're at Cooler Master CES 2023, and I'm checking out a couple of pre-builts and some really weird cases. They've got the Sneaker X, super cool. We're also going to take a look at the Shark in a bit, but this guy is amazing. It's a mini ITX build. It can fit a 360mm rad in the bottom down here. You're limited to an SFX power supply, but honestly, that's okay. You could fit about a 300mm graphics card in here, so you can actually fit quite a bit of computer in this guy. We saw pictures of this leading up to the event, and I actually thought it would be a little smaller. Now that I see it in person, it's really clear how easily you can just stuff everything into this guy. We're gonna take a quick look and check out where all the different components fit and all that. As you can see, we've got our motherboard here with the riser cable going into our GPU. Pretty beefy still, like they've got a 3-fan card in there and then a 120mm fan on the side to help keep that air moving. We've got our power supply over on this side. I'm guessing that there's a long cable that does that connection with a C13 from back over here in the rear end of the shoe up into our power supply. Below it, we've got a bunch of RGB on the bottom, kind of where the arch of your foot would be if this was your shoe. I don't know who's gonna fit into this shoe, but it's pretty cool. This guy's labeled as the GOAT. It's CMOD X's attempt at breaking the boundaries of traditional case form factor, or so they say. They're trying to bring forward a really unique and customizable lifestyle system, which can supposedly showcase who you are and become the centerpiece of your house. We've got these super cool shocks up here. I'm not sure who needs those, but if I was this big, I'd probably want some shocks in my shoes, I guess. I absolutely wish I could open this thing and see exactly how you take it apart and build in it and stuff, but unfortunately we can't do too much touching. It's more of a display piece. We also don't know when it's gonna be released, if it's gonna be released, or what the price is gonna be. But it's a pretty beefy case, so it's pretty sick. It's made mostly out of plastic and steel, not aluminum. So while I can't unfortunately pick this thing up, I'm guessing it's actually pretty heavy. It doesn't feel cheap or anything like that, so you're definitely not like downgrading or anything. My only complaint is that a lot of the I/O for the motherboard is back here, so I'm not sure how you're gonna access that. The shoe is super cool, but what I really want to talk about is the Shark. But first, we gotta check out our sponsor, dbrand. Where's Riley? He's on the street somewhere? What?
So our sponsor for CES 2023 actually dropped out, but dbrand footed the bill. The only catch is they want me to come out onto the streets and offer tech tips to random people for free. I'm not optimistic for how this is gonna go. Do you want a tech tip?
Give her.
Have you ever heard that when you get a new electronic product, you should let it drain completely before recharging it?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Well, it's wrong.
Yeah, I figured.
Have you heard of dbrand?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I don't think I have.
You're not missing much.
No, okay.
Do you want a tech tip?
What?
On anything. Any kind of tech. You know how to use Google perfectly?
Yeah.
Was that an iPhone?
Yeah.
Do you like iPhones?
Pretty good.
But you don't want any tech tips about how to use it?
No, I think so.
You're a master.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Can you do one thing for me?
What?
Go to shortlinus.com.
And here we have the Shark X. This thing is monstrous. Check this out. Enormous. It's got this huge RGB ring on the bottom of the base to make sure it's nice and level. Imagine having this in your home as just a big statement piece with all the RGB going and all that. Oh my God, it's fantastic. It's another mini ITX build with an SFX power supply. You get a bit less radiator support in that it can only do a 120mm, but the card can be longer, going up to 335mm. They say that this is based on the Leviathan mod created by Inoni at the Cooler Master Case Mod World Series. Shark X is a thoroughly remastered and re-engineered high-end gaming PC that can accommodate the latest top-of-the-line components. The whole thing is also made of plastic and steel, so again, this thing is probably super hefty. All of these screws and all here are keeping everything together, and it's actually kind of hard to tell exactly where all of the components are. We've got our power supply up here, we've got our graphics card right here, and I'm not even sure where you'd mount the radiator. The motherboard is like all the way on the bottom here. They say it's easily upgradable, and that can be true for at least a lot of the components. I'm not so sure how easy it is to get the radiator out or to get the graphics card in and out, but at least in terms of like RAM and CPU changing, yeah, pretty simple. Also, it's much easier to access the I/O than the shoe, which is handy. I'm not sure what you do if you like run the cables down the rib cage and through the tail and stuff, but it's super cool. And I love the attention to detail here with all these little ribs and like the tail sections and all that. It just comes together in a really sick and outrageous, kind of over the top way. We, again, don't know the pricing, release date, anything like that, whether these will even be available, because a lot of the stuff you see here is just that. It's basically a prototype. But honestly, they're super cool. They seem relatively well built. And yeah, you could totally build a PC in this thing. I mean, they clearly have. As for me personally, I think I want the Shark. I don't care how much more space this thing takes, especially vertically, but man, I love the RGB on the bottom. I love how big of a, like, just a statement piece this thing is. And yeah, this is definitely the one I'd buy, as long as it's not like $5,000 more or something like that. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to check out all of our other videos from CES 2023. It's been a blast. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and I can't wait to show it all to you guys.